Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Dipendra from MIT University, Gurgaon, Haryana. Today we are going to talk on module linear regression, simple linear regression model with least-square method under the paper quantitative techniques for management decisions. The following topics will be covered under this module. We will start with the introduction, then we will discuss the difference between the correlation and regression. We will also see the advantages of the regression analysis. Then we will see what are the various types of regression models exist. We will also discuss about the assumptions of the simple linear regression model, and then we will see how the estimations of the OLS methods take place, and then we will provide the mathematical explanation, and then we will discuss the concept of regression coefficient. Here we will try to explain you how we can calculate the A intercept and the B regression coefficients. The properties of the regression coefficient will also be covered, and in the last we will be having the limitations, and then we will try to summarize this module, but before that we will try to solve some examples of that. The objectives that we are trying to fulfill by this module are that we want you to understand clearly and that you should be able to define and understand the meaning of simple linear regression. You should be able to differentiate between the correlation and regression, and you should also be able to state the advantages of simple linear regression. You should be able to understand after going to this module what are the various types of models are there that exist for the regression and what are the assumptions that are supposed to be met. You should also be able to establish a simple linear regression equation by the least square method and determine the values of the regression coefficient. Now, correlation coefficient and covariance define a linear relationship between the variables, but they are unable to state anything about the causal relationship, or in other words, with correlation coefficient and covariance, we cannot say which variable is a cause and which one is an effect. Through the regression analysis, we try to accomplish the causal relationship between the variables. The term regression basically means moving backward. Hence, with the help of the linear regression analysis, we establish the causal relationship between the linearly related variables. In causal relationship, there is a response variable which is influenced by other variable which is known as explanatory variables. Some scholars have also given different name to both the response variables and the explanatory variables, like other names of the response variable are dependent variables, unpredicted variable, and explained variable, etc. While the explanatory variables are also called as independent variable, predictive variable, and the control variable. In regression model, we try to establish the complete cause and effect relationship between the variables, but in most of the cases, response variable does not depend on one explanatory variable. There could be more than that one variable, and that could have either direct or indirect influence of response variable. To understand this better, let us take an example of fast-moving consumer good known as FMCG, also manufacturing company, that wants to do research on the buying preference of the people for its new product that is going to be launched. For that, what they do, they collect the data of the housewives, as they think that they are the decision makers for all the products that are used in kitchen. But in real situation, there may be the choice of children in the family that could affect the product purchase. And not only the children, there may be other factors that could be considered, like husband preference, family income, or the effect of the opinion leaders. Hence, there could be many explanatory variables that can influence the response variable. Now we are going to discuss something about the differences between correlation and the regression. In statistics, correlation and regression both are used to define the relationship between the variables. Correlation tells the degree of correlation between the variables, whereas regression goes one step further. That is, in addition to telling us about the degree of relationship between the variables, regression also tells us about the cause and the effect relationship between the variables. In other words, correlation measures the degree to which the two variables are related, whereas regression is a method of describing the relationship between two variables. Now we are going to discuss some few basic differences that exist between the correlation and the regression. The first one says a statistical measure that establishes the relationship between two variables is called correlation, whereas a regression establishes the value of one variable called dependent variable for a given value of another variable called independent variable. What we are trying to say in this point is that when we are trying to establish the relationship between two variables under the correlation, we do not know which variable is dependent on what. But whereas under the regression analysis, we are clear about the fact that what is our dependent variable and what is our independent variable. Second difference says that correlation represents the linear relationship between the two variables, whereas regression fits the best line and estimates one variable on the basis of other variable. It also correlation does not state anything about dependent variable and the independent variable, and it is symmetrical in nature. For example, if x and y are the two variables, there is no difference in the correlation of x and y and x. Whereas in contrary, regression relationship between x and y is different from y and x. If you remember that under the first point we have said that under the regression analysis we are clear about our dependent variable and the independent variable. So if in case 1 y is a dependent variable and in second case if x becomes a dependent variable, then we can very well make it out that the difference will be existing. Whereas in the correlation, since we do not know which variable is independent and which variable is independent, so the relation whether it is between x and y will remain same. The fourth difference that we would like to discuss over here is that correlation indicates the relationship between the two variables, whereas regression denotes the impact of one unit change in the independent variable on the dependent variable. So we will see in further slides that when we develop a regression equation or when we develop a regression line, the dependent variable is dependent upon the independent variable. So as the variable which is independent in nature, it makes changes, definitely the dependent variable will also be changing. This type of influence of independent variable on the dependent variable cannot be estimated in the correlation analysis. Correlation finds a numerical value that expresses relationship between two variables, unlike regression that predicts the future of a dependent variable for a given value of independent variable. What does it say? That regression will help you if a regression line or regression equation is known to you, then for any value of the independent variable you can predict the value of the dependent variable. Let us discuss the advantages of having the regression analysis. The first advantage that we find of regression analysis, students, is that it establishes the relationship between the variables. Now this regression analysis establishes relationship between the response, also known as dependent variable, and the explanatory variable, which is also known as independent variable. This analysis also helps you in determining the errors. Now this regression analysis measures the standard error of estimates to measure the variability. As in regression line, we establish a relationship line which fits all the values of x and y, or in other words, all the values of x and y should fall on the regression line and the standard error estimates is equal to 0. But it hardly happens. When all the variables either fall on the line or are very close to the line is called a good relationship between them, or a good regression relationship. Third advantage that we find under this analysis is that it suits in case of large sample size. In case of large sample size, that is when the sample size is greater than 30, then interval estimation for predicting the value of a dependent variable based on the standard error of estimate is considered to be acceptable by changing the values of either x or y. The magnitude of r square remains the same regardless of the values of the two variables. It also helps you in predicting the future. In regression analysis, we predict the future values of the response variable based on the given values of the explanatory variable. Now we will discuss about the types of regression models. There are two methods of studying the regression model. One is simple regression model, where the response variable completely depends upon only one explanatory variable, and other is multiple regression model, where the response variable is influenced by more than one variable. Here I would like to tell you the response variable is similar to your dependent variable, whereas the explanatory variable is synonym to your independent variable. So the types of regression depends upon how many variables we are using under the study. If we are using only one variable as an explanatory variable, it will be a part of your simple regression. But if we are using more than one variable, then it will be a part of your multiple regression model. In those cases where the response variable completely depends on the explanatory variable, this relationship between the variables is called deterministic. For example, y is equal to 1.5x, where y is your dependent variable and x is your independent variable, which is also known as explanatory variable. When you are talking about the explanatory variable or the independent variable, you mean the same thing. Here the response variable y completely depends upon the explanatory variable x, and no error is allowed while predicting the values of x. This is often seen in the physical science concepts. But usually the relationship between explanatory and the response variable is inexact, which is you call as stochastic. It is due to the omission of the relevant factors, which are sometimes immeasurable, that influence the response variable. In simple regression model, we judge the variability of response variable that is solely dependent only on one explanatory variable or the independent variable. As the fundamental assumption in case of simple regression model is the expected value of y lies on a straight line. Let us assume the response variable is denoted by y, that is, y is a dependent variable, and explanatory variable is denoted by xi, which is you call an independent variable. So taking a corollary from the equation of straight line, that is y is equal to mx plus c, we get equation y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 into xi, where beta naught and beta 1 are unknown intercepts and the slope parameters respectively. That is, beta naught is representing the y-intercept and beta 1 is representing the slope of the regression line. In simple regression model, beta naught plus beta 1 xi is the deterministic component of the regression model, which tells the expected value of y for a given value of x. What does it mean? That if we know the value of x, we will be putting this value equation and we will be able to predict the value of y for that corresponding value of the x. If the slope parameter beta 1 is positive, that is, if beta 1 is greater than 0, the relationship between x and y is positive. If the slope parameter beta 1 is negative, that is, beta 1 is less than 0, the relationship between x and y is negative. And if the slope parameter beta 1 is equal to 0, there is no relationship between x and y. Graphically, we can represent the positive, negative, and no relation of the regression model as below. If you see on the first model, that is a positive relationship, here we are saying that with the increase in the value of x, that is the independent value, the value of y is also increasing. This is what you call as a positive relationship. Similarly, under the negative relationship, you are saying that with the increase in the value of one variable, there is a decrease in the value of another variable. So as the value of x is increasing, the value of y is decreasing. Under the third one, where we are saying there is no linear relationship between the two variables, that is when the given slope is equal to 0, this is what you call a no linear relationship. As we have discussed before, the actual value of a response variable may differ from the expected value. Hence, we can add epsilon as a random error in the deterministic component. So, the equation now will be transformed or can be rewritten as y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 xi plus epsilon, where epsilon is representing the random error that may have taken place. Another important concept is that we should know what are the assumptions for a linear regression model. The first assumption that we should keep in mind is there should be a linear relationship between two variables x and y, where x is called dependent variable and y is called independent variable. We can also say y as a response variable and x as a explanatory variable. This relationship can be described by a linear equation which we have already discussed above, that is y is equal to b naught plus b1x plus epsilon, where epsilon is again representing the random error, where epsilon represents the difference between the expected value and the actual value of a response variable y for a given value of explanatory variable. Students, you see that sometime I'm using a word dependent variable, sometime I'm using the word response variable, sometime I'm using independent variable, sometime I'm using the explanatory variable. So just keep in mind there is no difference. You do not require to get confused. Why am I using both these terms? Because different books, different authors follow different terminologies. So just to make you aware that these things are not different, they are synonym to each other, and just depending upon the writing style or the preference of the author, some people use dependent variable and independent variables, some people use response variable or the explanatory variable, but more or less they are the same thing. The second assumption that we have to keep in mind is that the set of expected values of a response variable y for a given value of explanatory variable x are normally distributed. The mean of these normally distributed values fall on the line of regression. The third assumption says the dependent variable y is a continuous random variable, whereas values of the independent variables x are fixed and are not random. The fourth assumption that we have to keep in mind while going for a simple linear regression model is that the sampling error associated with the expected value of the response variable is assumed to be an independent random variable distributed normally with constant standard deviation. The amount of error in the value of response variable may be different in successive observation. The standard deviation and the variance of expected values of the response variable about the regression line are constant for all the values of the explanatory variable. The last assumption that should be borne in mind while going for this type of regression model is that regression cannot have a symmetrical value of the variables, means the response variable y and the explanatory variable x cannot be interchanged for the same regression line equation. Again, this is similar, or this is an important point which we have discussed earlier, that what is the difference between the correlation and the regression. Under the correlation, even if you interchange the variables, the answer does not change. But under the case of regression analysis, it depends which variable is being considered as an independent variable and which variable is considered as an independent variable. Let us discuss the estimation of the least square method, also known as the OLS method or the LS method. This method is also known as ordinary least square method. I just told you, LS method or the OLS method. This method identifies that line which fit best for the given data. This is called the line of best fit and is determined by identifying the line out of all the probable lines which results in the least differences between the observed data points and the line. Now if you look at the figure, now this figure indicates that whenever a straight line is drawn passing toward data, there will be some variation among the line values and the real observed values. Here one is fascinated about the vertical differences between this line and the real data. What we are trying to say over here, the viewer are trying to find the distance between the line and the data that you have mentioned as a point over here. This line is used to make prediction about the values of y, which is the dependent variable, for the different values of x, that is the independent variable. In context of regression, these differences are known as residuals and not as deviation, but actually if you go through it, you will find that both of them are the same. The figure 1 here, the figure that you are seeing over here, it is representing a scatter plot of any data. where a line is projecting the general tendency. The vertical arrows are representing the gap, the difference or the residuals between the actual data and the line that we have drawn. As with the mean, value of the variables fall both above and below the line, resulting in the positive as well as the negative differences. Thus, in case these positive and negative differences are added, they will annul each other and there will be a zero as a difference between them. Now, to overcome this challenge, students, the differences are squared, because when you square 1 you get 1, when you square even minus 1 you get plus 1 squared. So whatever, if the difference is either positive or negative, by squaring them we are making overall result a positive result. So this is the technique we are using to overcome this challenge. Now the differences are squared before summing them. These square differences offer estimate about the wellness with which any particular line fits the data. That is, in case the square of the differences are huge, the line is not a representative of a data. But in case the value of difference is small, then the line is assumed to be the representative. What does it mean? If the differences is small, it means that the real data is very close to the line. If the differences are big, it means that the real data is far away from the line. Thus, to find the line of best fit, we find the sum of square differences represented as SS of all the likely lines for a given values data and then compare them. The line with the least value of SS represents the required line or the line of best fit. In reality, this tedious process needs to be followed, as this can be attained by using the method of OLS. It does so with the help of mathematical method used for finding maxima and minima. In calculus we have studied it. This procedure is used to find the line that minimizes the sum of square differences. The line of best fit is a regression line. Now students, in this topic we are going to derive the equation mathematically. Till now we have discussed the regression analysis as a concept. Now from where do we get this equation, or what is the mathematical explanation, or what is the mathematical treatment of this regression line? This is what we are going to discuss under this heading. Now suppose we have take a sample of n pairs of observation, that is x1, y1, x2 up to xn and yn, is taken from a population to which we want to study to estimate the values of regression coefficient beta naught and beta 1. So if you remember, initially we have taken a line of regression as y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1x. Now beta naught was the y-intercept and whereas beta 1 was the slope. So, and this is the equation that we were using to predict the value of y for a given value of x. Now the question is that how do we calculate the value of beta naught and beta 1? The estimate values of the beta naught and beta 1 should result in a straight line where most pairs of observations fall very close to it. Such a straight line is referred to be the best fit, which is also known as a least square or estimate regression line. Now let us say we are rewriting the equation as yi is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 xi plus ei, where I is representing the various values of y and x that we are going to consider. Now the same equation can we write if we take the epsilon on the left hand side and we rewrite this equation as epsilon is equal to yi minus, and we take the whole portion to the left side, it becomes minus, that is beta naught plus b1 xi. In order to minimize it, what we are doing, using the method of minimization maximization, we are going to solve this equation, and then this equation will present as ei is equal to L, where sigma I epsilon may be taken as equal to L, which says for the various values of I, that is from 1 to n, ei square is equal to I is equal to 1 to n summation and above equation. So when we are trying to minimize it after squaring on both the sides, the equation that we will get is that yi is equal to nb naught plus b1 for the different values of I to n xi. This equation is called the least square normal equation. The values of the least squares estimates b naught and b1 and can be obtained by solving this equation. Hence the fitted or the estimated regression line can be said as a y cap is equal to b naught plus beta 1 x, where y cap is the predicted value of the y. We use this equation to make the expectation of y for a given value of x Since the expected value may be different from the actual value, we take the difference of both the expected value and the actual value, which is generally represented by E, that is epsilon, which is equal to y minus y cap. Here we are going to talk about the regression coefficients. To estimate the value of the population parameter beta naught and beta 1, the estimated simple line equation is y cap is equal to b0 plus b1x, where y cap is estimated average value of the response variable y for a given value of explanatory variable x. B naught, or as is y-intercept, that represents average value of y bar, and b1 or b is the slope of the regression line that represents the expected change in the value of y for a unit change in the value of x. Now again, students, you please pay attention over here. Till now we have been saying that why we have been using the word y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x. Here we are using the word y is equal to b naught plus b1 x. So again, you just see whatever the terminology is being used by the different authors, whether it's beta or whether it's b or anything else, you should always keep in mind when the variable x, the coefficient with which x is associated, it represents the slope, and another constant, it will always represent the y-intercept. So it is only a matter of custom that what type of variables or words are being used, otherwise the concept will remain the same. So whether you are using a beta naught and beta 1 or you are using b naught or b1, it remains the same thing. A and b are also called as intercept regression coefficient respectively. To determine the value of y at any given point x, we must calculate the values of a and b. After getting the values of a and b, we can easily determine the value of response variable, that is y, at any given value of explanatory variable, that is x. The regression coefficient b is also denoted as byx. That means regression coefficient of y on x can be expressed as y is equal to a plus bx. Secondly, if we are writing it as a bxy, that means regression coefficient of x on y can be represented as x is equal to c plus gy. I would again like to draw your attention to the fact that under the correlation, whether you are using xy or yx, there is no change. But under the regression coefficient, when you are using byx and bxy, there is a lot of change. If we are using the word byx, it means that y is dependent variable and x is independent variable. If you are using the word bxy, here the x becomes the dependent variable and y becomes the independent variable. How do we calculate this value of the coefficient, that is a and b? For solving the mathematical problems of regression analysis, we need to calculate the intercepts a and regression coefficient b. With a little algebra and a differential calculation, which we all are aware of, it can be shown that the following two equations, if solved simultaneously, will yield values of parameters a and b such that the least square requirement is fulfilled. We just keep in mind that if these are the two equations, so for any given problem which you may be solving later, you have to find the value of sigma x, sigma y, sigma xy, sigma x, and sigma x square. Since there are two unknown variables, so these two equations are going to help me out in finding out the values of a and b, which will later be used for writing my equation of regression. These equations are usually called normal equations, where n is the total pair of observed pairs of values. Our next topic discusses about the properties of regression coefficients. The correlation coefficient is the geometric mean of two regression coefficients, that is beta xy into beta yx. That is, r can be written as the under root of bxy into byx. If one regression coefficient is greater than 1, then the other regression coefficient must be less than 1 because the value of correlation coefficient cannot be more than 1. Third property is that both correlation coefficient must have the same sign, either positive or negative. This property abolishes the case of opposite coefficient may be less than 1. What we are trying to say over here, now since we are multiplying both the coefficients, so in the case both the coefficients are positive, the outcome will be positive, and even if the case is that when both the coefficients are negative, negative multiplied by negative will give you a positive figure. It means that the answer, the coefficient can never be less than 1, and as it cannot be negative, it cannot be less than 1. Fourth property is that both the correlation coefficient and the two regression coefficient will have the same sign. Next property reads as arithmetic mean of regression coefficient be it yx and bxy is more than or equal to the correlation coefficient. Okay students, let us discuss about the limitations of simple linear regression model. The first limitation with this model is that with the help of this model we have been able to examine the relationship between only two variables. In many instances we believe that more than one independent variable is correlated with the dependent variable. Now it is a multiple linear regression that provides or that allows us to examine the relationship between two or more explanatory variables and a response variables. To solve some questions just to get a better understanding of whatever we have discussed till now. Let us take first illustration that says 5 randomly selected students took a math aptitude test along with statistics grade. In the table that is coming in front of your screen is that in a table the x column scores on the aptitude test and similarly the y column shows the statistics test. Now the question is that we have to find the best fit regression line based on the math aptitude test, and second is we want to say if a student has got 80 marks in the aptitude test, how can we find the marks or the grade in the statistics test. So let us say we know that the regression equation y on x is said by x cap is equal to b naught plus b on x. Now we are going to solve the values of b0 and b1. So what the two equations that we have discussed above are that sigma y is equal to na plus b sigma x and sigma xy is equal to a into sigma x plus sigma x square. So based upon the values, we are going to calculate the values of sigma x, sigma y, sigma x square and sigma xy. So as it is very clear from the given table that these are the values that we are going to get, and once these values are known to us, the above equation becomes as we are going to replace the value of sigma y as 385 and replace the value of n by 5 and the value of sigma x as 390. The second equation which is sigma xy, so from the table we see the value of the sigma xy is 30500 and the value of a is sigma x is 390. We will put these values of sigma x, sigma y, sigma xy and sigma x square on the above equation. So the above equations can be rewritten as by replacing sigma y with 385 and n with a and sigma x with 390. Similarly, the second equation sigma xy that is 30500 is equal to a sigma x that is 390a plus 31150b. We will solve these equations to get the value of a that comes as a is equal to 26.768 and b is equal to 0.644. So our regression equation becomes, or we can write our regression equation as y cap is equal to a plus bx, where a is represented by 26.768 and b is 0.644x. Now this is the regression equation, and one of the advantage of the regression analysis was that we can predict the value of a dependent variable with the change in the variable of the independent variable or for a given independent variable. Now in second question was that we were supposed to find the value of y with the corresponding value of x that was 80. So we will put the value of x as 80 and our value of y will come out at 70.288. Now here a word of caution should be kept in mind is that it is not recommended to use the value of the independent variable that are outside the range of values used to create the equation. That is called extrapolation and it can produce unreasonable estimates. In this example, the aptitude test scores used to create the regression equation ranged from 60 to 95. Please refer to the table. Therefore, only use values inside that range to estimate the statistics grade. Using values outside the range, that is, which is either less than 60 or greater than 90, will be problematic. Let us take one more example. Here we are supposed to calculate the regression equation y on x and x on y from the following table. Again we will follow the same method. We know our formula. We have to calculate the various values that are required, and on solving these various values and putting those values into the equation, we can solve the values of a and b. So the final the equation of regression that you will get is y is equal to 1.10 plus 1.3x. Third example again reads as, in a research, it has been found that demand for automobiles in a city depends mainly, if not entirely, upon the number of families living in that city. Table shows for the sales of automobiles in the 5 cities for the year 2003 and the number of families living in those cities. So here's a table where first column is represented by the various cities A, B, C, D, E. Number of families which are living in those cities are also mentioned. These figures are in lakhs. And then what is the sales of the automobiles that are taking place in those cities with respect to those families, that is in thousands. Now we are required to find the best fit linear equation and calculate the sales for the year 2006 for city A, which is estimated to have 9 lakh families, assuming that the same relationship holds true. You are also required to find out the error and the standard error between estimated value of y and the actual value of x. Simply we will start again by determining the values of a and x. We know these are the two equations we are supposed to use to calculate the value of x. By putting the respective values that we are going to solve with the help of the table, we are able to find the values of a and b. Our regression equation becomes y is equal to 11.9 minus 0.65x. Now if x is equal to 9, we will substitute this value on this equation and you will get a value of 6.05. That is, hence the sales for the year 2006 for a city A, which is estimated to have 9 lakh families, assuming that the same relationship holds true, is 6050 automobiles. 6.05 needs to be multiplied by 1000 because we are taking these figures in 1000. How we are going to calculate the value of error? We will simply put this value, error is e square is equal to under root 3.1, that is equal to 1.76. Here how we have calculated it is very much clear from the table that calculated value error is your calculated value minus the actual value, that is 9 minus 8 is 1, 11 minus 10.6 is 0.4 and similarly 7 minus 6.7 is 1. So this is the value of error you have got, so you multiply it and to get the standard error, that is 0.78. To summarize this model, we can say that through correlation we establish the degree of relationship between the two variables, whereas through regression analysis we try to establish a cause and effect relationship between the variables. Regression analysis establish a linear relationship between an independent variable that's already known, normally called explanatory variable, and a dependent variable that is unknown, and normally it is also known as response variable. Through the regression analysis, we not only predict the future value of the response variable for a given value of explanatory variable, but we also determine the error between the expected values and the estimated values of the response variable. The linear regression equation that completely depends upon one independent variable is called the simple regression equation and is represented by y cap is equal to b naught plus b1x plus epsilon, whereas the extension of this is a multiple regression that depends upon more than one independent variable.